Okay, this is Final Stretch on the Super Famicom, and this is a game that only came out in Japan. It's by Genki, who later went on to do games such as the Tokyo Highway Challenge, or Shidoko Battle as it was known over in Japan. And I'm really doing this video as a response to Steve Benway's video, which was the F1 Beyond the Limit. And I was looking at his video and I realised that the general comments he was making was that the frame rate was really bad, and you know, the Mega CD was capable of much more. And I was looking at that and I'm thinking, he's right, that the frame rate looks really choppy, and you know, I'm sure there was a game on the SNES that looked better, and I remember that I had this and thinking, I'm sure this looked better than the Mega CD game, which, I mean, it's not from the same developer, but you know, you kind of get the idea. It's a very similar kind of game. And I'm just looking at this now and I'm thinking, this is a lot smoother and maybe plays a bit more, you know, more fluid. But I don't think there's as much detail. I think the nice thing is, oh, if I don't crash, I mean, there's no sprites or anything, but the nice thing is that you get these two screens, so you can change it with the select button. But I find it so distracting just seeing those two, so it's probably better just to have the overhead view. It's something that a lot of Mode 7 games had on the SNES, like Mario Kart. You always had this two screen thing going on, this split screen. But this is one of, well, I'd say probably about half of the games that use Mode 7 in racing games had a DSP coprocessor with the cartridge, and I'm not entirely sure whether that just makes the graphics go a bit faster or whether it's handling, you know, AI or what. It's not clear what the DSP is used for. But I will say that this is really quite smooth, and games like this and Shidoko Battle and the Toge racing game, which was a, you know, a motorbike game that I looked at before, they do look really nice, and I think they look a little bit better than, you know, games like Mario Kart, which were almost first generation Mode 7, and you've got F-Zero and games like that that you could include in there as well, which are all really, really smooth. But it does make you wonder about the Mega CD, because nearly every example of Mode 7, maybe with the exception of Sonic CD, it's really quite jerky. And there's some really good effects on the SNES, particularly with the Star Wars games, and it's, you know, not just racing games that use it, and they've used it to really good effect. But with the Mega CD, even, you know, games like BC Racers and maybe even Soulstar to an extent and Battle Core, they were a lot slower paced games, so the speed isn't really an issue and the frame rate's not an issue. But on BC Racers, it's really jerky. It's quite bizarre. But I don't know which looks better. I think the Mega CD Mode 7 possibly has more detail and it's probably bigger and slightly higher resolution. But at the same time, it's jerky and it kind of looks, you know, pixely and nasty. So I'm not sure. I think it depends on what kind of game. But I remember the Mega CD coming out and seeing a lot of these, you know, Mode 7 games and looking at the SNES cartridges with the Super FX chip and these extra coprocessors. Although, you know, not that you know at the time, you only read it later on by looking at, you know, Wikipedia and saying, oh, this has got this chip in, this has got that chip in. But I think the SNES was quite impressive in that you could add these chips to games and you don't need £300 hardware. Tricky one is that. But yeah, this is a really good game. It's hard. It's really quite unforgiving. But I'm surprised it didn't come out in the West, because it's pretty good. It's not the best F1 game I've ever played, but it's certainly not bad. It's one of the better Mode 7 games. The sound's really good too. I think that must be the pits on the left. But yeah, just the same as the Mega CD F1 Beyond the Limit, you have to brake. You have to brake. Right, I think I'll give it one more go on a different track. Yeah, the controls are really weird because with the Nintendo controllers, A and B are the wrong way round. Coming from a Sega controller perspective. But pressing, if you think of it like the PlayStation controller, it's not where you expect the accelerate to be, it's the A button, which is weird. I'll change that view. See if I can get first this time, if I pay attention. There's no collision detection, which is a bit weird. I think I've picked a car with really bad acceleration. Yeah, the cars just pass right through you. Yeah, you have to be really quite hard on the brakes on this. And it's not like you can go across the grass or the sand or anything like that. It really does slow you down a lot. I think this game is probably looking a bit squashed and running a bit slower because I'm running it on a PAL SNES, which is probably good for the video because it makes it look more like it's widescreen, but I don't think it's meant to, so everything looks really squashed. Yeah, the sound's really good. I'm quite impressed. There's no music on it. It's not like I've turned it down or anything. You get the music on the title screen and the menus, but it's just, you know, F1 sound. Ah! Yeah, I can't see this game working too well if it was jerky. It's too frantic. And particularly with the, the third person perspective. Yeah, I think if it was jerky, it just wouldn't work. I'm almost finding it easier to play just from the top screen by thinking it's a 2D game and looking at it that way, although it's a little bit hard to see, like that where the corners are. I'm sure there were a few games on the, well, I suppose the SNES, but I think there were a few on the Neo Geo that did that. They were really just top-down 2D racing games that used some rotation in there. Don't think I'm going to win this somehow. You really do have to learn the tracks on this though. I have to admit, I haven't played this very much. I ordered quite a few import games when I first bought the SNES about a year ago, and I've not played these as much as I really should have. There's a few more in the box that I haven't done gameplays of yet, so I think I'll have to do them at some point. Oh! No! Get off! Stupid sand. Position 7. I think I might not win this. I'm not sure if you can tune the cars on this, but this just seems really kind of laggy. It's not getting up to top speed very quickly. Sounds like there's a bee behind me. No, I don't want to pit. I want to go fast. Final lap. No! Keep hitting the sand. But yeah, this is pretty good. I'm quite enjoying this. I think I've only ever put this on a couple of times just to see that the game works. I hate doing that with retro games. Buying a game and then testing it and then not playing it for a while. It seems a bit of a waste. Oh. Yeah, you really do have to think about this game quite a lot when you're playing it. There's not really a lot of room to manoeuvre but that's F1 for you. It's not exactly forgiving. Right, I think I'll leave it there. Position 8, that's terrible. So yeah, I think if you're looking for an F1 Mode 7 style game on the SNES, or you're just after another Mode 7 game that's a bit different, then yeah, I'd recommend this. It's pretty good. So thanks for watching.